Hello everyone, I am Kuldeep Yagik, quality regulatory professional with 18 years of experience in pharmaceuticals, vaccines and medical devices. Currently working in a medical device industry as a quality regulatory professional. So here today we are going to discuss about ISO 13485 2016. Okay, what does it mean? What is the meaning of a standard? Okay, where it's applicable. So it's overall overview of the standard. Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, so there in today's discussion or today's presentation, I'm going to discuss about ISO as I said. Okay, where it is applicable or what are the various industries or region where it is applicable. Okay, and who enforce ISO 13485. Okay, and how is ISO 13485 is structured, how ISO 13485 is different from ISO 9001. Okay, and how does ISO 13485 relate to the FDA QSR and recap. Okay, so first of all, what is ISO 13485? So ISO 13485 is a medical device standard released by ISO. Okay, that is known as a medical device quality management system. Okay, so here is the definition. Okay, so ISO 13485 is the most common medical device QMS standard in the world. So it is worldwide applicable. Okay, almost all the regulations or all the countries who are in medical device field or they are having the product in medical device or as a IVD, so they use this standard. Okay, so it is focused on maintaining of QMS effectiveness and meeting regulatory and customer requirement. What is its purpose? So purpose is, since different countries often have different standard, okay, or regulations. So ISO, what ISO did, okay, they prepared a one harmonized standard to provide a globally harmonized model of QMS requirement for international markets. So ISO is like a international organization for standardization, is a worldwide federation of national standard bodies, okay, that we call as a country specific regulations. Okay, and there are ISO members bodies. Okay, so here is a link for reading or that standard which is applicable on ISO website for reading purpose, so you can go through it. So first of all, as now we know that, okay, what is the medical device standard means what is the 13485 2016 medical device quality management system requirements for regulatory purpose. So now the thing is, what is the medical device? Okay, so here is the definition from the standard. Okay, so medical device means any instrument, apparatus, implement, machines, appliances, implants, reagent for in vitro use, okay, software, material or which similar or related to the article intended by the manufacturers to be used alone or in combination or for human being for one of the more specific purpose of medical devices are for diagnosis, prevention, monitoring, treatment and elevation of the diseases. Okay, so wherever means it is useful in diagnosis, somewhere in prevention, monitoring. Okay, we are having many monitoring device like blood pressure monitoring machine, so that we can say monitoring ECG. Okay, or okay, or means diagnosis like x-ray machines or even IVD products, those are used in diagnosis. Okay, some of them are in prevention, so like for example CPAP is that machine which used to be as a treatment also as well as a prevention. Okay, so there are multiple type of devices. Okay, Diagnosis, monitoring, treatment, elevation of compensation of an injury, investigation, replacement, modification, or support of the anatomy of physiological process. Okay, so for example, somewhere we implant like a stent or a pacemaker. Okay, okay, even let's say a dialysis machine. Okay, so these are like those supports the physiological process or anatomy of our health. Okay, by providing additional support to, let's say, pacemaker supports heart, okay, to regulate the pumping of heart, okay, for a proper maintenance of blood circulation in the blood, no, in the body. Okay, and so we can say these are the supporting or sustaining the life. Okay, control of conception. So control of conception means those are the reproductive products. Okay, for example, there are many gynec products which are used for like control of conception, like contraceptive devices. Okay, those are the things. Okay, disinfection of medical devices. Okay, so somewhere we, if we are disinfecting the medical device, that also can be called as a medical device. Okay, providing information by means of in vitro examination or specimens derived from the human body. Okay, yeah, so means in vitro products. Okay, where like means IVD products also comes under medical devices. Okay, where we are like examining the specimen derived from the human body. It could be like blood, serum, plasma, okay, or urine. Okay, uh, so all those aspect. Okay, and does not achieve its primary intention, action by the pharmacological, immunological, and metabolic means or in the human body, but which is assisted by intended function for such means. Okay, so these are the medical device in general. Okay, now the point is in which region ISO 13485 is applicable. So as beginning of this video I said that it is worldwide applicable. So almost all the major countries who are having a medical device as product, they adopt 13485. Either they are adopting with their regulation, local regulations, or they recognize this as a regulatory standard, or somewhere they invive or incorporate the requirement of 13485 in their local standard. Okay, for example, like in India. Okay, so MDR is means India does have their local MDR. Okay, so that also having the clauses and requirement for 13485 as in their a medical device regulation that was released in 2017. So this kind of aspect is there. Okay, for example, if they means US is having QSR 820, quality system regulation 820 for their for regulation of medical device. But however, they also recognized 13485, and that's why they are in the part of that MDSAP. Okay, so MDSAP is nothing but that also correlated with 13485. So all the requirement for 13485 is all incorporated in there. And now they have, FDA has released their revised version of QSR, so that is also having all the requirement for 13485. Okay, so not only this 13485, FDA also recognized many standard from ISO as their means those standard can be used as a directive or as a standard for to compliance the US requirement. Okay, so here as in terms of country, I have mentioned 165 countries. Okay, member countries of the international organization for the standardizer. So there are 165 countries. Those are the like a member of ISO group. So they also recognize this as standard. So yes, as I said, USFD planning to adopt. So this actually I drafted these content before the release of QSR. So they have already incorporated QSR requirement, the requirement of this 13485 in that QSR standard. Okay, so as I said, MDSAP is accepted by Australia, Brazil, Canada, Japan, and United States. So they also recognize this requirement. Okay, so if you uh, those who are watching this videos, okay, if they are having any questions related with the medical device, QMS, regulatory requirement, IVD product, they can drop me a comment, okay, and I will reply their answers. So who enforce ISO 13485? Okay, so ISO established and maintenance standards, but it is not an enforcement. So ISO is means ISO is a body, they prepared, release the standard, they revising on time to time basis, but they are not enforcing it. Okay, who enforced it? Okay, so there is one certification body must be member of. So whatever the certification bodies are there as a third party agencies who approve this particular organization as a part of we call them as a notified body also. Okay, so they use this standard to certify the organization. Okay, and those notified body or certification agencies should be accreditation or should be having accreditation from IEF. Okay, so IEF is recognizing them. Okay, and then they can means IEF is govern all those things. Okay, those all those certification agencies or those one. Okay, so then they um, use this standard. So means by in another way like through IAF it is getting enforced. Okay, so in order to grant valid certification and should employ the relevant certification standard established by the ISO committee on the conformity assessment. So whatever the standard is, okay, those certification bodies or notifies bodies, those are enforcing actually with the help of IEF. Okay, so ISO doesn't specifically enforce you, no, you have to use this standard. Okay, because this is a standard, not a regulation. But local regulatory bodies, okay, they recognize this standard, so they are also enforcing in, I mean, okay, yeah, it means they say, okay, no, 13485 we will accept the 13485 certification. So in a way they are enforcing this standard that we have to comply the requirement of 13485. Okay, but who audit organization from for 13485 compliance? That is a certification agencies or notified bodies. Okay, so what is the relation between ISO, IF, accreditation bodies, okay, or certification bodies? Okay, so just a minute, let me check if it is getting recorded. Yes, okay. So if you see here, okay, means on the left hand side, ISO is organization, then it collaborates with IF, International Accreditation Forum, okay, and below that there are accreditation bodies. Okay, so these are the different accreditation bodies. Okay, those accreditation bodies are accredited, okay, by the accreditation bodies, like and those bodies are called as a certification bodies or notified agencies. If you see below here, okay, so just a minute, I'll take some marker or something like that. If you see here, okay, so these are the accreditation bodies, okay, and these are the certification bodies. So these certification bodies, these one getting accredited by here, and these one getting accredited by the IEF. So this is how it is being enforced. Okay, ISO as a organization, they doesn't enforce the standard, they just prepare the standard and release for the public use. Okay, however, they collaborate with all the agencies, regulatory bodies, okay, or various agencies, and then they prepare the standard. Okay, whenever they prepare the standard, they release for the comments also. Okay, so those certification bodies or accreditation bodies, those are free to share those comment. Okay, so now just a minute, I'll stop this now. Okay, so so now hope you now got the relation between accreditation bodies and certification bodies. Okay, here are some definitions are mentioned over here. You can pause the video and you can read this definition. What does it mean? Okay, Yeah, so for example, here it is mentioned about the accreditation body. So, accreditation body is an authoritative body that performs the accreditation. In some instance, its authority is derived from the government. Okay, for example, if you see here, okay, so these are I'm saying, let's say finance. So this is from the Finland, NASBCQ. This is from India. Okay, and I guess this is from US. Okay, this is from New Zealand, UK. So these are the accreditation bodies, different. This is from TECAS from Germany. So these are the different accreditation bodies. Those are having collaboration with IAF. Okay, and then IFA regulates or them, and then it is regulates them. So it is how it happens. Okay. Yeah. So now moving. Oh, okay. Again, let's read something about or discuss something about the certification bodies. So certification bodies are the which has been accredited by IEF members. Okay. Yeah. And these certification bodies have gone through a rigorous accreditation process which demonstrate competence to issue the certification to organization for the standards and scope they have been accredited. Certification bodies have received independent third party endorsement by an accreditation body, which is typically a government organization. There are over 2000 certification bodies globally. Okay. Yes. So moving ahead, so here are the some example. Okay. So means some example for certificate. If you see here, okay, just a minute. So if you see here, this is from an NSAI, okay, from the US. Okay, so here we can see this standard is accredited by, or this company or certification is accredited by IEF. Okay, so IEF is the accreditation international accreditation forum. This is the ANAB is a accreditation agency from US, and NSAI is certification body in the US. So this is how it is structured. So in for 9001 we can have a means that certifications are getting accredited by the IEF. Okay, so here are the example of 13485 certification. So you can see here that is a TUB, and it is accreditation body is DECAS. Okay, and this is the certification agency or notified agencies. Okay, so that can have a label of both. Okay, so here are some examples. Okay, or definition. Okay, what is the IEF or non-IEF? Okay, so IEF is accreditation bodies recognized by the IEF. Okay, so this means ANAB here in the first certification, ANAB is accredited by the IEF. Okay, and there are the certain accreditation bodies, if they those are not accredited by IEF, those are called as a non-IEF. Okay, so not every standard has been accredited by the IEF. Okay, so as I said, 9001 is accredited by so far. Okay, 13485 in the process for the accreditation of IEF. Once it will be accredited, then 13485 certification will also be having a logo of IEF in the certification. Okay, so here is what is the difference between uh, accreditation, certification, and registration. Okay, so accreditation means the recognition and approval of certification body by an independent accreditation body, officially recognizing that the certification body that works in accordance with the international standard. So that is called as accreditation. Okay, means for example, ANAB is accredited. ANAB is accredited by IEF. Okay, yeah, or NSCI is accredited by ANAB. Okay, what is the certification then? Certification is means a written guarantee or a certificate stating that the management system in the scope meets a specific requirements provided by an independent body. So who is the independent body here is NSAI or TUB. So these are the certification bodies. Okay, so they are approving one company or management system. Okay, that their quality management system, or what is the certification there, and we mentioned a scope of certificate there. Okay, so those is scope of certification or certificate is reviewed by them and it meets the requirement of a standard. So they mention the requirement of a standard also. For example, okay, so this is the one standard, or sorry, one certificate. So here we can see the scope of certificate on left hand side, and there we can see the applied standard. Okay, so means how they release this certificate against which standard. So that is clearly defined over here. Okay, for just I would like to elaborate or highlight here. So this is the scope of certification, or here is the applied standard. Okay, so these two things should be available or are available in each type of certifications. For example, okay, here is for 9001, if we can see. Okay, so here we can see, here the standard is, okay, here is scope. Okay, and here we can see they have mentioned the certificate of registration. Okay, but in this one the term is certificate. So now let's discuss what is the difference between certificate and registration of certificate. Okay, so as we were discussing about the certification, okay, certification we already discussed. A written guarantee means a certificate stating that the management system in scope meets specific requirements provided by an independent body. Okay, so this is applicable, or this terms is used in all the rest of the world. Okay, but in US they use the term called as a registration, so that is applicable for North America. Okay, so they call like registration is when this certificate is registered with the certification body, so that they call as a certification of registration. Okay, so basically it comes down to a same thing. A company got a certificate that is a formally recognized. Okay, if you we read here certificate of registration means we got a certificate, now this certificate got a registered over there. Okay, so there used to be a registration number when the certificate was granted, effective date and expiry date. Okay, who approved it, who released it. Okay, so these are the basic things you see over here. Sorry, in 13485. Okay, here used to be a report number, here the certificate number at the top, report number. Okay, it is valid from which date or up to which date. Okay, so there used to be a review period, or where it could be re-reviewed, that we call as a our like recurring audits. Okay, means first we are getting initial certificate, okay, for the compliance against the standard, then used to be a regular audit after 1 year. It depends. Okay, what the frequency is. Generally it is 1 year for 13485, 9001, I guess it is a means once in a 2 year. Okay, okay, now let's move to the next. Okay, here is the definition, differentiation between certification bodies versus accreditation bodies versus competent authorities. Okay, we might be hearing these words. Okay, oftenly, what is the certification bodies, what is the accreditation bodies, or competent authorities. Although we discussed some of the things in previous slide also, so it is the same thing is more elaborated here with the example. So competent authority here is, okay, at the top level, then the accreditation bodies of that particular country. Okay, then there used to be a notified body, registered means registrar, who register that certificate, or auditing organization. Okay, so for example, here we can see certification bodies, conformity assessment bodies. Okay, so what is the notified body? Okay, so notified bodies means they QMS audits, okay, and product testing, CE marking. Okay, so those could be a notified body. Okay, type of assessment they conduct: QMS compliance, CE marking. Okay, issue device registration certificate, yes, but only for EU and CE marking. So those we are called as a notified body. Okay, focus on compliance in all EU member states and the partners. Conduct MDSAP audit, no. Okay, because EU is not having recognition of MDSAP. Okay, means they do not conduct it. Okay, so means so the now what basically we can say, notified body is generally a term driven from European regulations. Okay, so they call there it as a notified body. Okay, now come to a registrar. Okay, so registrar is the same thing, QMS audit and product testing. Okay, what they do, they check the compliance against ISO 13485. Okay, yeah, so issue device registration or certificate, no, Health Canada handles this, Canada only. So registrar word is used in Canada only. Okay, now auditing organization is conduct QMS audits. Okay, product testing, compliance, QMS compliance via MDSAP. Okay, issue device registration certificate, no. Yeah, where it is applicable, as it is from driven from MDSAP. Okay, so Australia, Brazil, Canada, Japan, and US. So these are means auditing organization generally used for MDSAP audits and scope. Okay, registrar for North America. Okay, notified body for EU, auditing organization for MDSAP. Okay, so example, here are the examples. Okay, of the notified body, registrar, or auditing organizations. Okay, so for example, BSI, DECRA, Intertech. Okay, so these are the few things. Okay, now coming to accreditation bodies and competent authorities. Okay, so what does it mean, accreditation bodies? Okay, accreditation body is accredited certification bodies to perform audits. Okay, so they are generally giving accreditation to them. Okay, accreditation of certification bodies. Okay, so these are the certification bodies. Okay, so they do not do any device registration there. Okay, so they are not actually directly regulating other things, they are regulating those particular bodies. If you see here, here is the accreditation body and it manage all these things. Okay, so this is one of the things here. Okay, now for example, ANSI, okay, or ANAB. So these are the things, these are the accreditation body. Okay, now competent authorities or Ministry of Health. Okay, so these are the competent authorities. Okay, so these are the overall oversee certification of bodies. Okay, oversight of the certification bodies. Okay, so they do device registration, yes. Okay, yeah, so it is focused on the compliance, yes, their individual market. Okay, because it is a country specific, not a like a applicable for all. Okay, for example, if it is a European countries, they will be having their own competent authority for a particular country. Okay, and same wise other countries like USFDA for US, UKMHRA for UK. Okay, like this, CDSCO for India. So these are the competent authorities, or somewhere it could be a Ministry of Health also. Okay, so issue device registration certificate. So we discussed that. Now I'm moving ahead. So now coming to ISO 13485, how it is structured. So we can see here. So it is having these are the content: forward, introduction, scope, normative reference, terms and conditions. Okay, these are the main clause: QMS, management responsibility, resource management, product realization, measurement, analysis and improvement, and the annexers. Okay, comparison between the previous standard and this one. Okay, and what is the correspondence between ISO 13485 and the 9001? So what is the relation between both of them? Because 9001 is a basic standard. From there actually all standards have evolved for a different industry. Okay, so as 9001 is a general standard. Okay, 13485 is the industry specific standard for QMS. Okay, because 9001 blindly cannot be adopted for all the things. Okay, now just so how it works? It works on the PDCA cycle. Okay, plan, do, check, act. So this is the basic backbone for this standard. Okay, so what is in the plan? Quality management system, management responsibility, resource management. So these are the plan aspect. Do, product realization, how we should be doing the things. Check, measurement analysis, act, improvement. So this is how actually this standard is structured. So we'll discuss in detail about these things in a upcoming video. If you see here, it is the same thing. Okay, this is the content of the standard. Okay, and here we can see plan, do, check, act, how it has been structured. So what actually we are doing in the planning, what we are doing in the do, what we are doing in the check and act. Okay, so in planning, as we discussed in the previous slide, okay, QMS, management responsibility, resource management. Okay, and these are the different sub clauses of that main clause. Okay, journal requirement, documentation requirement. Okay, management commitment, customer focus, quality policy, planning, responsibility authority. So this management review comes under act. Okay, because there we are doing the review of the activity, what is going on. Okay, and some of the aspect could be in the check also, because management review at some of the checkpoint also, how the particular organization is doing, and top level management is reviewing their performance against the quality requirement. So that's why management review is very critical clause, or very important clause, or one of the important clause for this standard. I'm not saying that it is the only one important. Everything is in this standard is important. Okay, yeah. So resource management, this also comes under planning, HR, infrastructure, environment requirement, and contamination control. Okay, let's see now do what are there in do. Okay, product realization, planning of the product realization, customer related process, design and development, purchasing, production services, and control of the monitoring and measure requirement. Okay, and then the check. Okay, what are the checks? So generally measurement and analysis is a part of check, improvement is a part of act. Okay, so whatever we are doing the activity in this standard. Okay, so in this particular clauses, this one. Okay, so that is subdivided between check and act. However, some of the requirement as a act uh, will be here also. Okay, some of the things, not all, but some of the basic things, because it is like a structured in a way that each processes are cross linking with each other. Okay, let's say if we are doing any CAPA, or we are doing any product improvement, the documentation is always required. So how the documentation requirement is coming here, so that is getting fulfilled from here. Okay, yeah, everything will call. Okay, because management review itself will be having some requirement what management is going to review in their review meetings. Okay, so those uh, used to have input from all these things. Okay, so means basically what I am trying to say, input from one step or one clause could be output from other step thing. Okay, so and then for example, okay, management review. So then management review did some reviews, means they did the check and act. Okay, again some of the things from the management review could be as a action plan. Okay, that action plan could be part of act. some of them will be checkpoint, and those action plan, if it is being acted over here, okay, so those action plan, if those are getting implemented, then again it will feedback, uh, give input to various processes where the improvement is required. So again, the things which is started from here means from one step. Let's say I'll take example for quality policy. Okay, so quality policy get reviewed over here. Okay, once it is reviewed, let's say CAPA is needed, so then it will go to the CAPA, then again it will go to the documentation. Once the documentation done, let's say we revise the policy, then again it is released, it has again reached to quality policy. So this is how the closed loop is getting implemented, means all the processes are cross-linked. That's actually I'm trying to say here. Okay, now let's see the things here. Okay, what is the process model? Actually the same thing as I said. Okay, uh, PDCA. Okay, so as I said, means some of the input could be the output for everything. Okay, for next clauses or next steps. Okay, so these are the QMS clauses, resource management 6, then it could go to the product realization, then the measurement analysis, then again it will go to the management responsibility. Okay, so management responsibility is making sure that regulators and customer requirements are met. Okay, and those requirements coming or getting or are input for product realization, and once product is manufactured, it is released to the market, and again we will receive a feedback from the market or from the customer or from the regulators. Okay, and that will be considered as input for measurement analysis and improvement. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, so yeah, so these are the things how it is done. Okay, means what are the requirements or management responsibility, resource management. So these are the basic requirement, how many requirements are there in the standard. Okay, so QMS requirement 62, management 48, resource management 20, product relation 195. Okay, and measurement analysis and improvement 91. Okay, now let's discuss in detail about the general requirement from the clause number 4. Just a minute. Okay. Yes. So what is a quality management system, and then general requirement and documentation requirement. Okay, and here you can see the hierarchy level of hierarchy level of documents. Okay, at top it is a quality policy, standards, work instruction, and records and reports. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, this is the main clause, these are the subclasses, and there the later on the subclasses. Okay, so this clause actually in overview or in by and large, this clause is a general requirements which elaborates the requirement of overall quality management system, its documentation requirements, including organization cell, setup, QMS, and maintaining its effectiveness. Okay, quality policy should be there, quality objectives, quality manual, which should be defining the scope of QMS. Okay, and document required procedures. So whatever the procedures are there, those should be documented. A risk-based approach determine the sequence of interaction. Okay, so which should be the input for every another thing. Okay, and all those things should be a risk-based. Okay, if there is a risk, then what action should be done. Okay, so means those risk-based sequences or interactions should be documented in procedures. Okay, if there is any risk or any potential risk, that should trigger a action to another process, or it should be documented over there. Establish, maintain medical device file referencing the document generated to demonstrate the conformity to the requirement of this standard, international standard, and the compliance with the applicable regulatory compliance. So there should be a device file, okay, medical device file or DHR, okay, that should be having all the documentation, or the requirements should be documented over there. Okay, it talks about the forms and records, control of document, control of forms. So these are the things where the document should be controlled. Okay, moving ahead to clause 5, management responsibility. So what is the management responsibility? Okay, yeah, so here we can see the management commitment. So management should be having commitment that should be communicated to everyone. Okay, yeah, customer focus, quality policy, planning, responsibility, authority, communication, management review. So these all comes under the clause of management responsibility. Okay, so uh, management commitment means top management shall provide evidence for of its commitment to the development and implementation of QMS and its effectiveness. Okay, customer focus, top management shall ensure that the customer requirements and applicable regulatory requirements are determined and met. Okay, top management ensure to a defined quality policy. Okay, so top management should ensure. So we should not say that, okay, the top management is not involved, or we can keep aside top management. No, top management will be ensuring that quality policy is documented, established, and communicated to the organization. So it is their responsibility. Okay, it is not only that quality function is responsible for quality policy, it is a top management that is responsible. Yeah, quality function will be facilitating that particular thing, or we can say we are the management representative. Okay, but who signs that quality policy? Top management, top executive of the organization is signing that policy. So it is their responsibility that quality policy should be there, communicated to everyone. Okay, quality objectives and planning to achieve objectives and adherence to policy. Okay, so then quality policy is there, then there should be a proper planning. So let's say quality policy at top. Okay, then there should be planning. Okay, then or quality objective. Okay, so these should talk each other. Means this is the top level document signed by CEO of company or MD or whosoever top position. Okay, then planning, quality planning. So means quality functions with all the stakeholders will be planning how that quality policy should be implemented, or its effectiveness should be maintained. That should come under the planning. Okay, and based on that planning, quality objectives should be documented, and those quality objectives should ensure that yes, we are ensuring the requirement of planning and quality policy. Okay, so this should be a flow. This is how the process are interacting with each other, or documents are interacting with each other. Okay, top management shall ensure that responsibility and authorities are clearly documented and communicated. Yeah, so this is the very important thing. Okay, so means top management shall ensure that the responsibility and authorities are defined and documented and communicated. So for example, okay, if who is the quality head? Okay, what is the responsibility of that person? Okay, what are the authority of that person? Okay, those should be communicated to all within the organization. Okay, yeah, and that communication, it is not like that the top management CEO will go and to tell everyone. No. Okay, let's say we have a documented job description. Okay, so means we documented the responsibility and authority. Now where that will be communicated? Okay, yeah, so means that is getting communicated first at the peer level, HR, and there used to be a organization announcement. Okay, and there we can inform, okay, this is the quality function, this is the head, okay, and these are their responsibility. Why actually we need this? Okay, Because if we will not define, document, and communicate, then how the organization will know who is doing what, where they should be reaching out. Let's say if I have some problem related to product, to whom I should be contacting. I should be knowing who is doing what. Then only I can reach. I have seen many times that HR is not communicated these things. Okay, they say no, this is a confidential document. No, you can see this is not a confidential document. We are not asking, or this is standard is not asking to share the compensation of anyone. It is asking to communicate the authority and responsibility of the persons. Okay, it could be in a brief, it could be a descriptive, but it should be. Okay, yeah, if we are not communicating it, not documenting it, it means we are not meeting the requirement of the standard. Now the next one is top management shall appoint management representative to ensure the adherence of QMS. So this is where the quality function requirements comes in. Okay, it could be QA, somewhere it could be Q only, quality. Okay, so it generally called as a MR, management representative. So there means top management may appoint one person as a MR, as a MR to ensure that the QMS requirement are met. Okay, yeah, so means this person again will be documenting all those things and will be reaching out to top management that will conduct management review, host management review, and that person will ensure that management should be available in all those things. Okay, or management is should be meeting the top management commitment, customer focus, management reviews, quality policy signing off. Okay, all those things. Yeah, moving little bit fast now. Okay, so what is the top management management review we already discussed. Okay, let's have some word over there also. Yeah, top management shall review the organization quality management or document it, planning intervals to ensure the continuity, suitability, adequacy, and effectiveness. So that should be periodically planned. Okay, follow up should be there. Output of the management review should be tracked or monitored. Okay, I have seen some of the organization used to take like management action reviews. Some organization drive them as a CAPA if it is really needed, or they document it and they take the follow up in next meeting review. They review those actions. Okay, what actions being done against those review. Now coming to clause resource management. Okay, so this is the provision of resources. Okay, means that we should be having sufficient resources available. Okay, yeah, human resources should be provided over there, that should be trained. Okay, and their skills or experience should be mapped according to the requirement, and according to the requirement, if they need any additional skill or experience improvement training, that should be imparted. Okay, and this all should be documented. So that's where the training requirements comes in. Okay, infrastructure is also requirement of resource management. So a facility where the manufacturing is, or let's say it is a distribution only, then there should be adequate infrastructure should be available. Okay, this particular requirements comes for the product, and where the contamination control is required for, let's say, aseptic or sterilized product. Okay, so that comes for that. Okay, so there the work environment should be there, and it should be contamination control should be there. Okay, now moving to next product realization. Okay, so it is a detailed one. Okay, so although like these clauses are not so small. Okay, going forward I will be preparing some videos for the specific clauses, what actually it means it, and how those could be implemented, because it is not possible to capture everything in a video. Okay, so here you can see this is the planning of a production process. Okay, then it is a customer process. We should be getting uh, the requirement. Okay, from the customer. Let's say product is to be manufactured, or some product is to be developed, design development. Okay, so everything comes in this particular thing. Okay, what is the requirement, order review, and communications. Okay, and then design and development. Okay, purchasing. Okay, means if let's say we have to manufacture something, let's say we have a product with us. Okay, we have to receive the order that we have to manufacture it, then the purchasing requirements comes in. Okay, and let's say we have to design something. Okay, new product is under development. Okay, that's requirement is also coming from the customer, because that is a customer need. Okay, it is not like that customer directly asking us that you have to design this product, but our marketing team or our like who actually monitors the market where the trend is, or the product managers or those people, they can give a requirement to design a product that is, and the requirement is coming from the customers. Okay, once that is done, then design and development itself a big class, we'll discuss that later. Okay, and after the design development, then product and service provision. Okay, the product is manufactured. Okay, and then the product release. Okay, and between all this process there should be a proper identification of the product, traceability, preservations, servicing, servicing and installation. Once the product is released to the market, that should be, means it is the manufacturer responsibility to give a proper servicing, installation of that product at the customer end. Okay, and its routine servicing then later on. Okay, and the monitoring of measurement. So we here the trend analysis, data analysis, that part comes in. So whatever we are manufacturing, that should be monitored, but whether those are the meeting the specification or not. Okay, so all those statistical analysis, all those things could be implemented here in the measurement and analysis. And validation requirements, verification requirements also comes under monitoring and measurement. Okay, yeah, so here you can see the detailed one. Okay, so what actually we do in the planning and the product realization. So what we do in planning for product realization states the requirement for plan and develop process needed for product realization. So means documentation for all the product processes, execute risk management in the product realization. So production process or design development process, everything should be properly evaluated for the risk. Okay, customer related process, so determine the customer and regulatory requirement, review the product requirement prior to the commitment to the customer. Okay, if anything's comes in for the manufacturing or design a product, so review all those before giving commitment. Otherwise we will give the commitment, we will not be having the product. So always better to review it before giving the commitment. Plan and document arrangement for the customer communication, document information, inquiry, feedback, complaints, and advisory notice. Okay, so all those documentation or processes should be there. Okay, yeah, so sometime we used to give product information, means brochure or manuals. Okay, or IFU. So those all should be there. Inquiry, if customer has to raise any inquiry, where they should be reaching out, how they can give the feedback to us, how the complaints will be receiving and documented, if we have to release any advisory notice, recalls, and those things. Okay, how those should be executed. So all those things should be documented. Yeah, now this is the interesting one and my favorite. Okay, design and development. Document process for design and development. Okay, so this clause calls about first document the process for design and development, plan the design and development stages and their review, VNV and design transfer planning, define the responsibility and authorities. Okay, see, everything is talking about responsibility, authorities, document the process. So it is not like that, okay, we are developing some product and there is no need to have a documentation for that. Okay, we should be, we cannot say no, in design and development no QMS is required. It is actually very much required from the beginning. We cannot eliminate those things. Okay, determine design and development inputs, functional specifications, usability, safety require outcome of initial risk assessment. So all those should be documented. Yeah. Review the design and development output. So for means input means output of previous steps will be input for next step. So all those things should be reviewed properly. If you see here, okay, planning, design and development planning, design and development input, design and development input. So means some things comes here, okay, and again then it is input for every next step. Okay, so once the design development done, so let's say there is a one review here, okay, and there may be multiple phases for review. Okay, yeah, means it depends organization to organization how they want to review the design at various stages. Okay, it is not like that in one scope the design will be ready. Okay, there may be, we may have a product plan or project plan for design, and that project plan should be integrated with this process, design and development process or clauses of the standard. Okay, yeah, so means we have a project plan, so that should be having these requirements should be incorporated in that project plan. So means by using that project plan we will be meeting the requirement for ISO 13485 for design and development. So that's why it is really needed to draft a plan for product development or reviews with the clauses of design and development. Okay, so let's say design development review ready. Okay, then design and development verification, validation, and then the design and development transfer to the manufacturing site, okay, or operations, and then control of the design and development changes. So these are the changes once the design is ready. So if they are, we are doing any post approval changes, those are included here. Okay, then the next one is design and development, just a minute, design and development files. Okay, so means whatever the design development file, those should be recorded, documented, everything. Now moving to next one, product realizations. Okay, yeah, so during the product realization itself, 7.3, which generally calls about the manufacturing part. Okay, so here uh, just a minute. This is a structured presentation for design and development planning. Okay, so means design review is there, design verification. Okay, so user need is coming there, and then design input, design process, design output, product. Okay, then means risk management is involved at each step. We can see here. Okay, and then design verification is there at the each step, so that we should not be falling back after the product is ready that it is not meeting the user requirement. So each step we should be verifying, okay, whatever the user need is that being meeting or not. So means design review, you can see here. Okay, it is in added at every stage. Okay, user need, design input, design process, design output, and product. Okay, and risk management, you can see it is it should be reviewed at each step. Okay, once the product is ready, then we can do the product validation or design validation, we can see against the user need. Okay, yeah, design review at the various steps. Now it is a purchasing, and now it is purchasing. Okay, so purchasing means establish the criteria for evaluation and selection of suppliers, plan monitoring and re-evaluation of suppliers, purchasing information or verification of purchase product. Okay, so all those things should be there. Okay, first of all, if we are planning to have any uh, procure anything, okay, so first of all, to whom actually we have to procure? So first of all, we should be having process first of all for procurement. Okay, so means to whom we have to procure means we need to identify the supplier. Okay, so supplier identification, review, approval, so that process should be there as a supplier qualification or evaluation. However, before reaching out to supplier, we should be having specifications also. Yeah, specifications means let's say we have to procure any raw material for IVD product or part for assembling of a medical device product. Okay, so that should be having a approved specification, and from where that is specification will come, that will come from the design. Okay, design specification. So see how the process are interlinked. Okay, because without having a specification we cannot qualify the supplier or we cannot evaluate the supplier. Okay, we should be having the specification in our hand. Okay, because for example, let's say we have to procure a material for a plastic or for a stainless steel or electrical part. Okay, so means we should be having a specification in our hand, and then that will give idea which type of supplier we have to evaluate. Okay, so purchasing information, if you see here. Okay, so when we are going to raise a PO, we should be having a specification with us. That specification could be or should be shared with the PO, so that any supplier cannot say that once we have raised the PO that okay, that we have not shared the specification. So that should be documented with each PO. Okay, and there should be a written agreement with the supplier, so that is called as a quality agreement. Okay, so quality agreement should be there, not only for the quality of product but the delivery of the product is. Okay, how we are going to monitor it on the periodic basis. Okay, if there are any issues, how that supplier will be identifying it at their level and doing a investigation and correction, that generally we called as a SCAR. Okay, supplier corrective action request. So how those will be done. Now the verification of purchased product. Yeah, so any product which is purchased. Okay, now how that product is once purchased, it is coming to the site. Okay, and then manufacturer has to verify that product against that specification we shared with the supplier. Is it meeting with that or not? Okay, because only the verified part should be or material should be used for a production, otherwise our product will fail. Now we can see here the detailed one of the clause number 7.5, product and servicing provision. Okay, production and servicing provision, planning, execution, monitoring and control. Okay, so we should be having documented process for planning, execution and monitoring its control, product cleanliness and contamination control. So it day-to-day hygiene of the manufacturing operations, how that will be maintained. Okay, now so once the product is there ready, then the medical device installation acceptance criteria for verification of the installation. So means when we are selling any medical device to the customer, how it will be installed. Okay, what will be the acceptance criteria for verification of installation. So installation activity should be documented, verified, approved. Okay, perform and verify the servicing activities. So we have to verify or perform the servicing activities. Okay, what the servicing activity we have did, are they meeting the requirement or not? Okay, we can involve the feedback process also there. If we have given any services to the customer, okay, whether they are happy or not. Okay, so that kind of feedback process could be involved in that or incorporated with that servicing activities. Okay, sterilization if applicable. Okay, so this is for the sterilized product. Validate any process for production and servicing provision. Product identification by suitables means throughout product relation. Okay, so means product traceability identification should be maintained at each step, otherwise there is chance for product mix up and those things. Okay, traceability of product, component, materials and conditions of the work environment, shipping and distribution traceability. So traceability is very much important, so we can say identification and traceability. Identify, verify product and safeguard the customer property. Product to storage, preservation during the processing, storage and handling of distribution. So all those things should be clearly documented and monitored. Okay, so we can see here also clause wise servicing activities we have discussed, particular requirement of sterilized medical device, validation of process for the production and the servicing provision, particular requirement for validation of processes for the sterilization and the sterile barrier systems, identification, traceability, customer property, preservation of product. Okay, so all these requirement should be documented and monitored periodically. Now moving to the 7.6, the next clause, okay, control of the monitoring and the measuring equipment. So whatever the instrument we are using during the manufacturing process, distribution, logistic, all those should be calibrated, validated as per the requirement. So that's what the requirement says. Okay, monitoring and measurement of the equipment to provide the evidence conformity for the product is determined. Okay. Measurement equipment shall be calibrated or verified or both. Okay. Measurement equipment shall have the identification in order to determine its calibration status. Validation of the applicable application of computer system used for the monitoring and the measurement of the equipment. So whatever the computer software we use during the process of product or manufacturing or let's say distribution, so those type of computer systems should be verified or validated as per the need. Okay, now moving to next. Yeah, clause 8. Interesting one. So this is what does it mean? Measurement, analysis and improvement. Okay, so this elaborates the requirement of monitoring process and improving those process. Okay, so plan, implement the monitoring, measurement, analysis and the improvement of the process needed to demonstrate the conformity of the product, QMS and effectiveness of QMS. So it includes the feedback, yeah, so that information gathered from the production as well as production activities and perform risk assessment to identify opportunity and improvement. Customer complaints, okay, so this is for the customer complaint, review and record the information, evaluate the information to determine if the feedback constitute a complaint, investigate complaint, determine the need to report the information to appropriate regulatory bodies. So let's say if there are any adverse event, okay, those should be reported to appropriate regulatory authorities. Okay, determine the need of initiate corrections and corrective actions. So those should be evaluated during the complaint. Yeah, next one is internal audit. So requirement of internal audit also comes from this clause number 8. Internal audit should be conducted. Monitoring and measurement of process, core and support product release. So all those should be there. Here also mentioned in detail. Feedback, complaint handling, reporting to regulatory authorities, internal audit, monitoring and measurement of process, monitoring and measurement of product. Yeah, so here we can say product quality review or annual product quality review. Okay, the next one is control of non-conforming product, analysis of data and then improvement. So here we can see control of non-conforming product. So let's say any product got failed, so what we have to do, identify and control to prevent its use and delivery. So any product has failed, we should be restricting its uses or release to the customer. Eliminate the detected non-conformity, issue the advisory notice, product release with the concession, rework and conformity or non-conforming product. So all those processes should be documented properly. The next one is analysis of data, determine, collect and analysis the appropriate data. So this is called about the data analysis, trend analysis. Okay, so so whatever the information we are gathering as a from different processes, that should be reviewed here. Okay, and the data driven or fact driven decision should be taken. Okay, so this is where this clause help. Yeah. So next one is corrective and preventive actions. So whatever things we identify or those requirement to initiate a corrective action or preventive actions, those should be initiated over here. Okay, so identify and implement and necessary to ensure the maintain the continued suitability, adequacy and the effectiveness of the quality management system as well as the medical device safety and performance through the use of quality policy, objective audits, results, post-market surveillance, analysis of data, corrective and preventive actions, and management reviews. So all those things should lead to measurement, analysis, and improvement clauses. Okay. So corrective actions. What is the corrective actions and preventive actions? So corrective action is to eliminate the cause of non-conformities in order to prevent reoccurrence. So that is a corrective actions. So preventive actions is prevent action to eliminate the causes of potential non-conformity in order to prevent their occurrence. So here we are ensuring this that problem is happened which should not be reoccurring. So that is the corrective actions. Okay, means problem identified in one process, okay, or one issues or one is production process or QMS process that should not be happening again. Okay, yeah. So here is the action is to eliminate the causes of potential non-conformity. So here we have eliminated the root cause. Here we are eliminating the potential causes or potential non-conformities where it may lead. It has not happened. Okay, but what we are trying to achieve here that it should not be happening to other processes also or other products also. Let's say one product got failed because of sensitivity. Okay, we corrected that product, eliminated the root cause of that product. Now let's say material is root cause and that is fixed over here. Let's say one product is any test kit or something like that, that is getting corrected here. Okay, now in preventive action what we will do, we will ensure that issue should not be happening to other products also. So means we are eliminating the potential non-conformance. Here we have eliminated the conformance. Here the potential non-conformance. So this is the difference between corrective and preventive actions. So how, let's take one pause here. Yeah. So how ISO 13485 is different from 9001? Yeah. So both are for QMS. Okay. But why? How it is different? Yeah. So 9001 is generic standard and 13485 is for the medical devices. Okay. So this is the first difference. Okay. Means basic difference. Other differences are, okay, if you see here, 9001 focus on customer satisfaction and continual improvement. Okay, whereas 13485 focus on additional medical device requirement, general documentation, and safety requirements. Okay, because safety and regulatory requirement is major concern in terms of medical device or IVD, because that is we are dealing with the patient safety. Okay, yeah. So see over here, the similarities are risk assessment, customer focus, PDCA cycle is used as a general model for quality improvement, employee competency and leadership. So these are the similarities. Differences are the document control, responsibilities, management responsibilities, conduct risk assessment. Okay, because here we do the detailed risk assessment. Okay, that is something different between the risk assessment with 9001. Okay, yeah. Resource management, compliance to regulatory standard CAPA and product specific requirements. So these are the basic differences between 9001 and 13485. Okay, here also you can see in detail. Okay, so how it is correlated. So if we are context of the organization, means clause number of 9001 2015 is the requirement is getting meeting here in 13485 clause number 4. Okay, 13485 2016. Okay, I am not saying that it is the same, but in generic way these are the similarities. Here the management responsibility is mentioned. Here it is differentiated into leadership and planning. Resource management we call in 13485, here we call as a support, here we call as a product realization, here we call as a operation, here we call as a measurement, analysis and improvement. It is further subdivided into two. product evaluation and improvement in 9001. So this is how it is structured between 9001 and 13485. Okay. Here is how it is related to FDA QSR, means quality system regulation 820 for US FDA, and how the 13485. Okay, so how these two are correlated. Okay, if you see over here, so like first of all, both calls or adopt the things about the quality system requirement. Okay, so FDA was created generally for quality management system. Okay, from 9001, it is specifically deals with the requirement in a medical device industry. Okay, yeah, same here. It is also considered as a GMP for medical device from US FDA point of view. Okay, it is become it has released in 1978. Okay, later on it was not revised, but it is released now, so I'll eliminate it from here. Okay, 13485 is neither regulation or law, but it is the law in US. ISO 13485 is a global accepted standard and provides a way to comply the general regulatory requirement. Yeah, so countries that in US, or the shipping out the product in US or distributing the product over there, so they have to comply this requirement. Okay, so if, let's say if I'm manufacturing somewhere other in the world, and releasing my product to US, then my product should be meeting the requirement of 1348. Oh, sorry, 13485. Yes, it should, but as well as 820. 13485 is a voluntary standard, but it is a law in the US. Okay, 821 CFR part 820 is a law in US. Yeah, so this is called as a non conformance if we are meeting the requirement for 1385, and if we are meeting the requirement of 21 CFR part 820, it is called as a compliance. Okay, so here are the similarities you can see between these two things. Okay, yeah, so we'll make a separate video on this because it is revised and released, so that will be giving a more detailed overview about the similarities between 9000 sorry 13485 and quality system regulation for FDA. So here is just a recap. Okay, so as we discussed, ISO 13485 is the most common medical device QMS standard in the world, originated from ISO 9001. 13485 is intended to provide a robust and globally harmonized model of QMS requirement for international market to ensure safety and performance. ISO 13485 is not a regulation or law, it is a voluntary standard. However, many countries accept and adopted it as a requirement or a standard. It is structured based on PDCA cycle. It contains 8 clauses, that mainly clauses are 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and which covers 416 requirement. So here we can see the requirement just as a summary or recap. Yeah, clause 4 is for requirement, so here we can see general requirement, documentation requirement. Clause 5 is for responsibilities, that talks about the management. Okay, management commitment, customer focus, quality policy, planning, responsibility, authority and communications, management review, provision and of resources, human resources, infrastructure, work environment and contamination. Okay, here the clause 7, product realization, so planning, then the customer related processes, design and development, purchasing, production and services provision, control of monitoring, measurement and equipment. And clause 8 is for general means general requirement, monitoring and measurement, control of non-conforming product, analysis of data and improvement. So that's it. So that's it. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any specific questions, doubts, you can comment in this video. I'll reply all those or will make a video